What's up, everybody? It is the Best Bot Kid Smooth, and today I am back with another video, and I want to discuss the possibility of the Xbox Series X getting its price and release date possibly at July 23rd's Xbox Games Showcase. And I know our expectations has been tempered a little bit about pricing and release because the current rumor, and courtesy of Jeff Grubb, is that the Xbox team is supposed to reveal the Lockhart in August, and this is due to Sony having a rumored event, PlayStation State of Play, show off a few more gameplay to some games that they haven't announced yet, and they're supposed to give the price and release date of the PlayStation 5 early August. That would allow Xbox to counter, hopefully not too far later, with the Xbox Series X and Lockhart release date and price, and they'll show off a couple games that they haven't showed off as well. And after that, we should all just properly prepare for a launch and be able to pre-order the consoles and stuff. But here's the thing. Here's why I'm not totally buying that. Not to say the August stuff isn't happening. I think that's still on deck. But according to like previous rumors, courtesy of Brad Sams and Thoreau, I say the website name wrong all the time, but I watch Brad Sams podcast and stuff on YouTube. Shout out to him. But he's been leaking or giving us information on like Anaconda, Scarlet, Lockhart, xCloud for like honestly for it feels like over 2 years now. He and Diller and the whole crew. I feel like so. But the thing is, what he talked about was that before this whole COVID outbreak happened and pandemic slowed down the economy, slowed down the earth, the Xbox were planning to release the Xbox Series X in late August, while having a staggered release for the Lockhart, which would have been come holiday season, mid to late October. That was supposed to be the plan for the Xbox. I mean, so E3 would have been a crazy banger, had COVID not come and destroy everything. But obviously things have changed, and according to him and even like Ran, they do both believe that they're still going to pursue a staggered release. So they're not anticipating the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Lockhart or the Xbox Series S to come out day and date with each other. So that leads me to believe the Xbox Series X was primed to come out first. That's the one that's ready. Both consoles could be ready, but that's the console that's been advertised. And if it's going to be a staggered release, who's to say Microsoft has to wait until August? And personally, if it's a staggered release, we are in July. We're currently, as the recording of this video is currently mid-July, right? So we still have August, September, October, November, December, 5 months. And if they're going to plan a staggered release, I don't know how big of a gap. I would say the minimum gap is probably a month, and the longest gap is probably 2 months from each other. So the Series X, if a Series X, let's say, launches in November, the Lockhart would end up having to launch in like December or January. And that doesn't happen. I think Lockhart has to be available for the big shopping season, like the Black Fridays, that November holiday rush, where the Series X is an enthusiast console, which it doesn't have to be tied down to quote unquote holiday, but more so fall. And they got away with saying, giving the vague points, because technically, Xbox, if they pretty much have two consoles for the next generation, they get skewed with their words of holiday. Holiday is very vague. Holiday, to me, holiday from some people is October to December. Holiday could even go into September. Me personally, what I feel what's going to happen and why we could expect an Xbox Series X price and release date in July, because I do believe there's going to be a staggered release, and I think that the Series X for sure is coming out first. And if it was ready to come out in August, If it's ready, when they were talking about like the manufacturing and stuff, you see why there's no concern with, because manufacturing was way ahead of schedule. If they were preparing for August launch and the delay is really due to COVID, and obviously games got delayed on that front, and because of the type of console the Series X is, it's going to play every game. So technically, it's not launching with. If we want to be real technical, it's not launching with any really like any games like our Xbox Series X games. So if we think about it that way, so it can come out really at any time, like a new graphics card. It can come out at any time. It doesn't have to wait for a game to be released. So the with that being said, however, they are pairing Halo Infinite. Their plan is to pair Halo Infinite with the console, with the Xbox Series X. So that's why I think it's possible that the Series X gets a late September release date or an early October release date, and we find that out in July. Because if they're going to stagger the release, that means Lockhart is probably going to come smack dab in the middle, closer to a PlayStation. I think PlayStation is coming out in November, and I think the Lockhart is going to be available the week that the new Cyberpunk date is, and Assassin's Creed November 17th, November 19th. So that week it'll probably launch in that window of time, that shopping time. There's going to be like 3-4 big AAA titles coming in that week between Cyberpunk and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. However, October, and the reason why I point to late September or early October, because Halo Infinite has to release it. I don't see Halo Infinite coming out the same week as Cyberpunk. I don't. Even though Microsoft has the marketing rights for Cyberpunk, Halo Infinite is going to be in Game Pass. Cyberpunk is going to be for sale. You know what I mean? But sure, they can both survive, but at this point, you want playtime. Like you want playtime. If Xbox Series X, if you look at the release month for October, right? October is vacant. There's no major game coming out outside of Star Wars Squadrons, which is probably the weakest Star Wars games we're getting, and then the cheapest Star Wars games we getting in the last 6 years. You got Dirt 5, which is an Xbox marketed title, because chances are we're not going to get a Forza game this year. Dirt 5 comes out, I think, October 9th. And then you got Crash Bandicoot, which is also a smart delivery game. It will be available for the Series X, Xbox One, PS4. I'm not sure if it's PS5 standard, but it's coming out like October 2nd. So, and then you got a bunch of like subpar games, some Lego games, FIFA. There's no heavy hitters coming out in October. October is very vacant. That is actually room for October for both PlayStation and Xbox to go in. And that's why I don't see no. Sure, the Cyberpunk is going to be available for the Xbox Series X. They got the marketing rights. I do not think the Xbox Series X is launching alongside Cyberpunk. The Xbox Series X is launching alongside Halo. The last Halo to launch in freaking November was like Halo, like I think Halo 2. Every other Halo after that has been September, October. Halo 5 was October. I think we get the Xbox Series X and Halo in October. Therefore, the Dirt 5 would be available right around, that's the same launch window. And then Cyberpunk and Assassin's Creed will still be on their holiday schedules, and they'll be playable for the Xbox Series X. But I think that is the best target. And an early October release for the Xbox Series X also allows them to put out Lockhart in November, the shopping season, the next round of games, because Halo is going to be the first round of games. Halo and maybe some other titles we don't know about yet that may come in October. November, that last push, which is the Assassin's Creed, which is the Cyberpunks, and whatever game that doesn't have a release date right now will come in, and then you'll have Lockhart, this cheap console, next generation console that comes in with those games as well. And I think that would be the best strategy. And so why would we find out that in July versus finding that out in August? Reason why we find that out in July is because I would say we get both price points and release dates if they were both coming out the same day. If Xbox comes out in October, in August, pre-order is just a little late in the game. if you have a staggered release date, you have two events where you can announce things. July should be for the Xbox Series X. Hey, Xbox Series X will be available October 7th, $499. You know what I mean? Pre-order today. In August, after PlayStation, thinks it has the dub with its 450 PS5 or whatever, they can turn around. Also, introducing Xbox Series S, $299, November 17th, or November 19th, day and date with Cyberpunk. That's what I believe is going to happen. So I think there's a small factor, a shocking factor, because everybody's on the belief that we're going to find out about both Series X and Lockhart's release date and price all at the same time, both in August. I'm reserving the right, I think, that in July at the Xbox Series game showcase, we will get the Xbox Series X price and release date, and I think Lockhart will come next month with its release date information in that separate reveal event. There's, when you look at things and what makes sense, when it comes to there's room in October for both PlayStation and Xbox because October is vacant. November, sure. You can launch consoles in November, but I think would be the smart thing to do. I just feel like if Xbox was ready to release the thing in August, then I expect their console to come out first. I'm sorry, there was never a rumor of PlayStation 5 releasing their console in August or September, but they were prepared to release the Series X this August, next month, right? So obviously things got delayed, marketing, games, and stuff like that. So materials, events kind of faltered the rollout a little bit. Because the pace, remember, they revealed the console in December of 2019. And they were prepared for a heavy marketing push. Think about that. Digital Foundry breakdown happened in March? Imagine if this thing didn't happen, they probably would have still been on pace to do our August release. And because all the information we're waiting to get in a few weeks, we would have had already back in June, which is crazy. So I feel like if they were prepared to launch in August, I expect their console to come out earlier than expected. I say anywhere from the last week of September to the first to the second week of October. Let me pull up my calendar to see what that looks like. Consoles generally, I know Tuesdays has been traditional, but those Fridays has been the sweet spot, especially for PlayStation. But I think Xbox will take advantage of that by launching September 20th. They're either launching September 25th, October 2nd, or October 9th. Yeah, that's what I see happens with the Series X between September 25th and October 9th. And then the PS5 will probably come in somewhere that first week of November, and probably in the Series S probably between November 6th and 20th. The Series S and PS5 will come out in that window of November of the holiday shopping season. But I want to know your guys' thoughts. What do you think? Do you expect us to get release date price of the Xbox Series X in July, or are you with everybody else who's saying it's August? And do you think all the consoles are slated for November? Do you think the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series X will come out the same day? I believe it's staggered, and if you're gonna have it staggered and they're gonna be staggered by a month or more apart, then Series X is definitely coming out first, and it's definitely coming out earlier than November. That's my video. See you guys on the next one. Xbox is the best box, and I am the best bot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. Peace.